This presentation will help you understand the business case scenario. It's important in a business communication class to put the assignments into a context. So let's take a look at this. Your role in the case, you are the intern coordinator for an IT consulting company that specializes in global clients. You were hired 1 year ago to start the intern program. Now, there's some key employees in the case. John Smith is retiring, and he is going to give you $50,000 to convert his office into work, study, or entertainment space for the interns. Joseph Stevens is the partner who wants to terminate you and the internship program because of an unfortunate incident in Thailand where an intern was arrested. Now, Robert Morris, however, wants to give you another chance. He has an ulterior motive, though. He wants you to teach him the APA formatting because he's starting an MBA program. Mary Jones is your very newly hired administrative assistant, and unfortunately, due to the situation that occurred in Thailand, you have to delegate some important projects to her. Now, the interns are the people, of course, who you will be writing for, but they will not be the audience. And you determine their demographics as part of the week's 3 to 6 assignments. They provide clerical and low-level support to the employees. They are paid minimum wage. Now, this point is important because sometimes students want to make them into real employees or consultants who are interacting with the clients. They're not doing that. They are simply doing things like showing PowerPoint presentations, making photocopies, the low-level tasks. So keep that in mind. Now we start in week 1 with expanding the internship program. John Smith is retiring. He's enthusiastic. He wants you to convert his office. But the other 2 partners who are remaining are less enthusiastic. So the goal in week 1 is to write a description memo to explain how you will use the money to convert the space in any way you decide for entertainment, work, and/or leisure. Now, you need to click on the assignment tab and read the more detailed instructions for the week 1 memo. This PowerPoint presentation, the YouTube video, gives you the big picture. You go to the assignment sheets for more specific details. Now, in week 2, this is where we get into the problem. One of your interns was arrested for acting inappropriately, but this came from a lack of knowledge about customs in Thailand rather than intentional disrespect. Therefore, you are confident you and the corporate attorney can settle this problem, but you have to leave for Thailand immediately. However, with the partner who supports the program leaving by retiring and the other 2 partners less enthusiastic about the interns, you know you have to hire better interns. So on your way to work, you happen to see the Casement University Career Fair flyer. It's at your security desk when you sign in, and you think this is a good opportunity. However, because you're going to Thailand to solve that problem, you have to tell your newly hired administrative assistant to set up the entire project, the career fair. She has to contact the university, arrange to get the fair going, clean it up afterward. Again, remember, you go to the assignment sheet and click on that. It will give you very detailed instructions. Now, in week 3, there is a case complication, of course. You return from Thailand and you find out the partners want to fire you. Not that they don't like you, but they feel like these interns could cause them financial and PR problems, so they just don't think it's worth it. Because you're an IT consultant, you're going to lose your job. However, instead, you try to convince the partners that you can train the interns before they travel to foreign countries to support these global IT consultants. Now, John Smith, the retiring partner, is enthusiastic about this multicultural training program, but Joseph Stevens is not. Of course, John is retiring, so his vote counts for less. However, Robert Morris recommends that you write a 1 to 2 page proposal to describe the interns and the content they would learn. He is asking for a research paper on one nation with respect to how their culture differs from ours. He also asks to speak to you privately after the meeting. Now, he's got an ulterior motive. The partners, though, go along and they say you should describe very specifically what they want to see in this sample report. They know what they want to see. The sections of the report should describe the cultural customs in one nation and show how they are the same or different from our own customs for both workplace and public behavior. So what they're asking you to do is just write the typical college report, APA formatting here. Okay, be careful with this. Don't drift into telling stories about, the training program that this would be used for. That's beyond the scope of the class, because in week 7, instead of talking about the training program after this report would be approved, you will be instead switching to a different task and writing 293. You'll be writing your own resume and cover letter. So keep that in mind. As you are working, you are writing a report. The partners are the audience. That's a key point, not the interns. You'll take the information in the report. If there were, other weeks in the class when we would go into it, and turn it into a curriculum, lectures, quizzes, role-playing scenarios. But that's never going to happen because this project stops when you turn in the global research report. Okay, so the partners let you know that you have some topics that they want to see. You have to choose 3 at least, but you could throw in other topics as well. They have some flexibility. So after the meeting, you gain the support of Robert Morris by agreeing to format this report according to the APA guidelines so that you can teach him how to write papers for his MBA program at Casement University. I have put this in because probably most of you realize we don't format business reports in the workplace in the real world according to the APA guidelines. But writing 293 has it as a learning outcome, so that's why you're using the APA. Now, week 4, you're simply planning the report. Again, remember, you always click on the assignment sheets. It'll carry you through this step by step. But this is the basics. You're doing a thesis statement, a description of the interns, and a working outline for week 4. And I should also mention week 4 and week 5 are both ungraded assignments, but you have to turn them in on time. There's no late papers because we only have a week. I need the work so I can turn it around to you. Week 5, you write the ungraded rough draft, and you see that you have the transmittal memo. I tell you what that should be, and then more specifically in the assignment sheet, I even give you more information. Week 6, you submit this report, and then, as it says in the lower right corner, it's the end. Remember that part about the end. It ends with handing in the research report. So don't tell me stories about what, type of training and all of that. None of the logistics. And finally, if you have any questions, you can always call or send me an email. I will be glad to help you. Good luck with weeks 1 through 6, the Business Case Scenario Project.